coming into the game. They guarded us very well. I thought our defense was pretty solid from start to finish. Real physical game, and you know, really just you know, our kids were hungry and made enough plays to win it. But you got to give A&M credit for playing super hard.
Mark, have you often won games scoring 12 baskets?
You know, we didn't score very many field goals, and very few times do you do that. And you know, neither team scored very many field goals. It was such a physical game. I think we both shot probably 25 free throws. Yeah, we both shot over 25 free throws, and there was, you know, we only shot 37 shots, you know, in the game. And you know, it's a national story about how physical the game's getting, and I think you saw good evidence of it today. It was a hard-fought battle.
Mark, is that a product of the way you all are? Do you all want it this way, or is it becoming that way because of the way the game's being called and other factors?
It's becoming that way because this is a national issue, okay? Every coach in America knows that if you can be more physical, then why don't you be? And so coaches, we're teaching that. So yes, we're guilty, okay, of doing that. We're guilty of teaching our team to be physical. Other coaches are guilty of that. But I'm going to stay guilty of that until they make the other team change too. You know, and the game's just, you know, we've got better athletes. It's a harder game to officiate today. It's a hard game to officiate because of the athleticism, the strength, the quickness of these guys. So I have a lot of respect for how the job that those guys have. But you know, the NBA, you know, really made a point to, every NBA guy comes in here and says our game in college is more physical. And it is. I think that John Adams is making an effort to try and get it. You know, in fact, today we shot a lot of free throws because they're trying to get it cleaned up, but it's going to take time.
You basically had two of the better scorers in the league neutralize each other today. Is that just because they can really guard, or because? Well,
you know, it's unique when they both guard each other. You know, oftentimes you take a great scorer and he just guards a stiff on the other end. You know, and here we had two great scorers, and they both guarded each other, and that's a neat matchup. You know, they both are talented players, and both, I thought, defended pretty well. And you know, Contavious doesn't make a basket, but very patient throughout the game. Got to the free throw line, and still had a pretty good night for us.
Coach, what's the one thing you can put your finger on that your team's doing better during these last 5 games?
You know, our team our defense has given us a chance most of the year. You know, since December probably, our defense has given us a chance most nights. You know, our young players, who I criticized for their defense early, and we've had to play them a lot, but their defense has gotten better. So I can put them in the game, and our defense stays pretty sound. And so at the end of the night, it gives us a chance to win. And we've just found more guys that can score the ball. You know, we don't have a designated second gun. That guy hasn't emerged, but we probably had 8 or 9 guys make a basket tonight. I haven't looked at it, but we had a lot of guys score the ball tonight, and we've just become a pretty solid team on the offensive end where we play together, and each guy makes their share of plays.
Coach, a little scared at the end with the Gaines turnover and Contavious technical foul. Is that just a lapse in focus, or?
Immaturity. Immaturity. You know, that's a freshman and a sophomore, and neither one of those plays should have been made. You know, Kenny needs to have experiences like that to grow, and Contavious is one of the greatest kids in the world, and he just was frustrated, and he shouldn't have done that.
One more question. Coach, you talked about a lot of guys getting a score tonight. Nimmy being one of those guys, came up big in the first half. Obviously, he's been coming off the bench a lot lately, and he seems to be reacting well to that. How has that, you know, improved the team's performance and also his as an individual over the past couple of games?
Well, I think he's comfortable in that role. I think he's been. I thought yesterday, I told my coaches this morning in our meeting, I said, you know, yesterday's as good as Nimmy's looked physically all year. He was up back around the rim, and he just hasn't probably been that way all year. Now he's feeling better physically. I think he's comfortable in that role. And if he can become a little more trustworthy with the ball, I think he'd be dynamite. You know, he has some, because he's a good passer, he thinks he's, you know, Tom Brady, you know, or Matty Ice for the Falcons, let me say that. But he's really, I think, comfortable in that role now, so he's playing well.